Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Lil God XP here. In today's video I'm gonna show you 10 Game Boy Advance hidden gems, and the last one is the surprise, so make sure to not miss the video. And also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and write in the comments which game from these 10 games you have known. So without any more yapping, let's have the video. First up, we have got Drill Dozer. This one is a real treasure from Game Freak, the same company behind the Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon, I have never played any Pokemon games, so let me know in the comments which Pokemon game should I start. So back to the game. In this game you play as Jill, riding around in a mech suit with a giant drill strapped to the front. The gameplay is super unique. You're drilling through the walls, solving puzzles, and even battling with enemies with your drill. So it's colorful, it's creative, and it's one of those games that shows just how much variety the Game Boy Advance library really had. If you have never tried it, this is definitely one hidden gem worth checking out. Alright, let's talk about a game almost no one expected to be good. Daredevil on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I know, another movie tie-in superhero games. But this one is total surprise in my opinion. It's basically a 2D beat 'em up mixed with some platforming, but the devs actually leaned into the Daredevil's ability instead of making it generic. The coolest feature in my opinion is the rudder sense mechanic. Since Daredevil is blind, you actually toggle it on to see hidden items, enemies, and pathways. That instantly makes it feel more than just another button masher. It's not a masterpiece, but for fans of superheroes and especially Daredevil, this is one of those that we say, wait, why is it actually this good? Our next hidden gem is Ninja Cop, also known as Ninja 5.0 or 5.0. Don't let the cheesy title fool you guys. This is one of the best action platformers on Game Boy Advance in my opinion. In this game you play as ninja fighting against terrorists, but the coolest part is the movement. You have got a grappling hook that lets you swing around like Spider-Man, and the game mixes fast action with precise platforming. It's tough, but in a good way. The kind of challenge that keeps you hooked to the game, which is why it is super rare and expensive right now if you want to buy it. But if you can find a way to play this game like me, I play on an emulator, it's a must try hidden gem in my opinion. Alrighty, next up we have got Iridion II or Radium II, a space shooter that really pushed the Game Boy Advance to its limits. The graphics are absolutely insane for a Game Boy Advance game. It's flashy with 3D style effects and tons of enemies flying around the screen. The controls are smooth, making it one of the more accessible shoot 'em ups on the Game Boy Advance. The music, the music deserves a mention. It's fast-paced electronic stuff that keeps the action feeling intense. It might not be the first thing you notice, but it really adds on to the arcade vibe. Moving on, we have got Lady Sia, one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games. It's a fantasy action platformer that feels totally different from the most Game Boy Advance games. You play as a warrior princess fighting against invading monsters, and what makes it stand out is the mix of platforming and the combat. The swordplay feels surprisingly smooth for a Game Boy Advance game, and the art style has a very hand-drawn storybook vibe that makes it unique in my opinion. It's not perfect, the controls feels a bit clunky in at times and a little bit stiff, but it's still one of those underrated titles or hidden gems of Game Boy Advance. Next up is a game that honestly blew me away the first time that I played. The game is Monster House on the Game Boy Advance. I know that you're probably thinking most movie tie-in games are complete garbage, right? But this one is the opposite. It actually is really good. Instead of going to the cheap route, the developers made Monster House play like a portable Resident Evil mixed with a twin stick shooter. But on Game Boy Advance, you explore the creepy house, deal with spooky enemies, solve little puzzles, and the whole thing has this eerie atmosphere that feels way darker than you would expect from a kids movie. And the music, it nails that creepy but fun vibe perfectly. It's not just generic background noise, it actually adds tension and keeps you hooked. If you escape this game for whatever reason because you assumed it was another bad toy in movie game, you definitely missed out. For me, Monster House easily sits in the why didn't more people talk about this category. So go and give it a shot. Moving on, we have got Gradius Advance. This is Konami bringing their legendary arcade shooter franchise series to the Game Boy Advance, and honestly, it still holds up really well. You get that classic Gradius gameplay feeling, and also tight controls, a weapon system upgrade that lets you customize your firepower, and of course those tricky enemy patterns that tests your reflexes. Visually, it's clean and colorful with big bosses that feels satisfying to take down. The soundtrack keeps that classic Gradius energy, upbeat sci-fi vibes that push you forward without distracting you from the chaos on the screen.
Start. Speed up. Speed up. Missile. Start.
Here is a game with one of the longest titles on the Game Boy Advance library. The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Pumpkin King. Oh my gosh. The gameplay itself is like a Halloween themed action platformer with some light exploration, almost like a baby Metroidvania. You go through spooky stages, fight creepy cute monsters, and the bosses are surprisingly creative. It definitely captures charm of Halloween Town with its gothic yet colorful art style. It's not the deepest game ever, but it's one of those titles where the style and atmosphere do a lot of heavy lifting. If you're into the movie or just love Halloween vibes in general, I this is one you shouldn't escape. Next up is the King of Fighters EX New Blood. It's just a fighting game on Game Boy Advance. It's a very good fighting game if you have some like 15-20 minutes you want to kill and you just mashing buttons like I do. As you can see in the video, I'm not very good in this game, but for those 15 and 20 minutes, it's really a good game to pass the time and just mash the buttons like a whole days. And finally, we have got a game that is truly in a league of its own, Rhythm Tengoku. This is one of those Iridion games that doesn't just play like a normal Game Boy Advance games, it dances with you. It's a rhythm game packed with tiny quirky mini games where timing is everything. The controls are simple, but the challenge comes from the feeling music perfectly. And trust me, the soundtrack is absolute gold. Each minigame has its own catchy tune, and somehow they all stick in your head long after you put the game down. What makes it really special is the creativity. 1 second you're drumming along, the next you're dodging bouncing objects to the beat. It's unpredictable, fun, and incredibly charming. And for a Japanese only release at the time, it's kind of game that feels like a secret treasure when you finally discover it. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe, and also if you want to support me, check out the pinned comment in the comment sections. Till the next video, I'm out. Peace.